G'day guys, my name's Knight and welcome back to Automobilista 2, where this time we are continuing the mini Save Data Racing series from 2023, heading over to Goiania for, is it 200 kilometers I think? So 53 laps. We're gonna try 110 level AI and see how that goes. I think the Kalami one was like 105 and that just wasn't enough, so we'll see how 110 goes. If we need to up it or lower it, we will prepare that for Long Beach. But of course, again, as I keep saying, it's every track is a little bit different. What works, an AI level that works for one track doesn't really work for another track, which is kind of annoying. But we're gonna see how it goes. So let's jump into practice, I believe. Now, of course, last time we did the Goiania 400, it was a meme race. We had like Formula 1 cars, Indy cars, supercars, Aussie racing cars, trucks. We had bloody everything. Go-karts as well, old stock cars. We had a lot of different things, so it was interesting. All right, let's chuck the limiter on. Ooh. Okay, my audio might be up a. Oh Jesus! I thought I turned the limiter on. I guess it turned itself off. There we go. Fortunately,
it's clear. We need to get some heat into these brakes.
We apparently don't really get any penalties for speeding in pit lane in practice, so that's okay. We don't have to worry about that too much, thankfully. But let's get ourselves warmed up, get these tires up to temperature, and see how we go. This is a very fun little track, actually. So it should be interesting. Of course, the most recent time we did this track, we did the external layout with the stock cars, which was essentially a kind of fancified oval race in a way. But this time we are back to the interior course, the main layout, as it were. So this corner is probably always going to be the most interesting because you have to brake around the 100-meter mark and then turn while braking, basically, on that one. I mean, you can probably kind of line it up a little bit better, but yeah, it's an interesting one to try and nail. And then we've got a little bit of a sweeping final corner onto the back, or the front straight, sorry. So let's start our first lap here and see how we compare to the AIs. This should be a lot nicer than Indianapolis last time, although I say that, we did win Indianapolis with no issues. Well, we won the 250. We didn't win the Thunder races, but we won the 250. We didn't have problems there. That was good. But this is back to kind of more my territory. Regular tracks. So let's see if we can pull through. Oop. Perhaps a little bit of an overshoot on that braking zone. Not too bad. Might have lost a little bit of time there though. Alright. Get it around. Vroom vroom indeed. Okay, I think that was a little bit slow through that section. So we're gonna have to try and work on that. Probably be a little easier when we have other cars around us to judge.
Just done a 129.9.
Okay, 129.9 is the current goal. We're probably going to beat that. Maybe. Will we actually? I don't know. 7, 8, 9. No, we're not. That was a 131.8 2.
Sector 3 is 0.5 off
So
the
yeah,
pace.
we had a few parts around the track where we definitely need to improve. Turn 1 for sure. Turn 1 is always a bit of a difficult one here. But there we go, we're already 0.3 up on that one. Already 0.3 up there.
Car in front is just posted at 130.9.
Okay. Let's go.
Sector 1's quick.
Alright, slow it down there. Now we can actually make that corner without overshooting it, which should gain us a little bit of time. Okay. Get it around. Be careful of the sausage curb on the inside there. We don't want to unsettle the car, because it will be pretty easy to unsettle it there.
Sector 2 time is good.
Okay.
Okay, Eve, 15 minutes left. That's 15 minutes.
15 minutes, okay. And this is going to be a pretty drastically better lap. Where's that going to put us? Second place, 0.15 slower than Watame.
Pace in sector 3.
So that's not too bad. We can definitely work with that. Let's try and get a decent run through turn 1. There we go, not too terrible there. As we hunt down Flayon here. But yeah, the car feels comfortable,
Temperatures are okay.
which is good. I'm pretty sure I did reset the setup to yeah, I definitely did reset the setup so that we're back to a more default regular setup rather than what we were running around the oval, because I'm not sure that would have been overly helpful here. Wow, we're cutting that corner a little too tight and we're hitting the sausage curb. We don't need to be hitting the sausage curb.
Your tyre temperatures look good.
Okay. So just judging by Flayon's braking zone there, about halfway between the 100 and the 50 boards. So about 75 meters out is when we're going to be braking for that final corner. Now we've got a bit of a slipstream pull. That has
Sector 3 times okay.
put us above Watame in the leaderboard for the moment. Let's see if anyone fights back later in the session. But so far it's not looking too bad. Looks like the 110 AI is okay, maybe still a little low, but again, we'll see how it goes in the actual race. Practice and quali, not a huge indicator for what the AI level is at, especially this early in practice. Late in practice is usually when they start actually setting a lot of good lap times. So we'll see if our time stands. We'll see if we can improve upon it, of course, but see if our time stands. Also remembering we are on a full tank of fuel and the AIs are not, because they tend to run a fairly low tank in practice.
Sector 2 time is okay.
Whereas, yeah, we are running a full tank of fuel, so we're going to be a bit heavier, a bit sluggish compared to them. But let's also just have a look at the pit strategies that we have. I think all of them are still set. The fuel only one is going to have to be bumped up a bit. Well, actually I don't know, because I think most of our stops are going to be fuel and tires. So I don't know if we're going to be touching the fuel only one, so maybe we can just leave that for now. Yeah, I assume we're going to be running fuel and tires for the most of the pit stops. So just make sure that one is ready. And we should be good to go. What are we actually running? We are running soft slicks right now. So maybe we change that over to softs. Yeah, let's change that to softs, and then we'll see how long a soft tire lasts. Ooh. Because if a soft tire can last a stint, then that's alright. If a hard tire is going to be... Well, I assume a hard tire might last 2 stints. So if we run into the need to just run over to the hard tires so that we can improve our pit stop times compared to the AIs, then we will. But I don't know what the AI is going to be doing. And here we go, the AIs are starting to speed up now, so we're 0.4, basically 0.5 off of Chihaya there.
0.4 off the pace.
So they are starting to speed up. So we'll see.
Okay,
see if we can kind of
10 minutes left.
Push a little bit to catch some of that time. But again, I'm not too worried about being half a second down with a fairly full fuel tank. Oh, just make sure we don't slide out there. So we've been pushed down to 4th place there. We got Cali and Laplace as well as Chihaya in front of us on the leaderboard. Ooh. I was a little unsettled there as we're probably putting a little too much throttle. Ooh, I think that was too fast into that corner. Because the tyres are already starting to wear down. We're 6 laps into a stint. A full stint would be 25, so yeah, these soft tyres are definitely... We're probably going to be pushing them on a full 25 lap stint, but I don't think it'll be too bad. Maybe they'll get down to about half health, possibly, which that's not horrible. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah, just straighten it up nicely. Try and ease it through the kink. Alright. But also, 25... Was that 25 laps? We got 50... Was it 53 or 54 laps? Okay, so the AIs are 100% gonna go for single or double stints, basically. They're gonna go 1 pit stop. I can guarantee that. If they don't, then it's gonna be kind of weird, but I'm pretty sure the AIs are gonna go for 1 pit stop. We're gonna have to do some fuel saving if we want to go for 1 pit stop, so...
Sector 2 is 0.8 off the pace.
We might have to pace ourselves a little bit. It's gonna entirely depend on how quickly the AIs go. I suppose another thing, we can change the fuel map a little bit. I've never played around with the fuel map. Let's run that on lean and just see... Like, run that on lean for a few laps and see if that makes a difference. Because I'm not really sure the differences in fuel maps. I think lean is supposed to use less fuel. I could be wrong on that one. I'm going off of, like, a couple of times playing the F1 games. That's my only knowledge of fuel maps, really. So we'll see if it helps. Maybe. Let's just do a few laps on try and watch the fuel number, or watch the lap number, see if it changes. Because if that goes to like 26, even just 26 laps, preferably 27, then we're safe.
0.4 off the pace.
Because if it goes 26, then we can comfortably do 52 laps. Again, we're on a, I think, 53 lap race. So let's see what we can do. We just need to save a couple of laps of fuel. That's all we need.
Sector 3 is 0.6 off the pace.
Okay. Coming up on easy to do here. We're already on 26 there, so changing the fuel over to lean does seem to potentially have made a difference. So that does say 26 now, which is good. We can work with 26, because it only means we have to, that means we pretty much only have to
do 5 minutes to go, 5 minutes left.
Maybe one, like save for one extra lap maybe. So let's see how it goes. If we can maybe try and fuel save in the first half of the race, and maybe try and stretch it out to 27, or like stretch the first pit stop to lap 27, then that could be good.
0.9 off the pace.
And then we push to the end. That'll give us a chance to push to the end. Yeah, I'm thinking that might be the strategy to go for. It's back down to 25 now. Yeah, I think it's just because we kind of held off on the previous lap. Okay. So even on the lower fuel strategy, yeah, we're gonna have to kind of take it easy. But again, I want to do that in the first half of the race. Try and extend the first fuel tank as long as we can. And then we'll see if we can extend it long enough that we just won't have to really worry about the second tank. Because if we can get to lap 27 or 28, then we'll more or less, I think, be safe to the end. We just need to try and figure out a strategy that will save fuel. Okay. Yeah, see, that's gone back to 26.
Sector 2 is 0.8 off the
So
pace.
as long as we can kind of just ease it around the track. Maybe use a slightly higher gear in certain corners. Don't push it all the way to the red line. Change down a little bit later so that the revs stay kind of low.
31.2.
I think those are the strategies we're going to have to run here. But we don't want to change down too late, because obviously the car does... Changing down does make a difference in the speed. The car, if we change down too late, we're pretty much not getting any sort of engine braking there. And the car will go a lot further than intended. A lot faster than intended into corners. Fourth gear, okay, yeah, fourth gear is a little too slow through there.
2 minutes to go, 2 minutes.
I kind of expected that, but we can work with it. Still only 26. Alright, so it looks like we might have to run 26. We might have to run a 26 and then... Oh, that's going to get us to lap 52. Okay. I don't know, because we can't run anything else there, from what I can tell. So this is gonna be an interesting one because it's gonna be very close on fuel.
That last lap was at 131.9.
Either we barely make it to the end, or we run out of fuel right before, and have to do a very quick splash and dash. It's gonna suck if we have to do a splash and dash. But I'm wondering... Okay. I have another idea. What if we do a very short early pit stop?
Your right side's cold.
Very short early pit stop. Run us a couple laps longer, which would allow us to not have to worry about fuel saving. Okay. Let's consider that as an option. So let's bring this down to like...
Checker flags out, E7.
3 laps, 10 litres. Ooh, brakes late there. Okay. And yeah, we're down in 7th place in practice there, so it's going to be... I'm just worried that if we do that first stop, even if it's a quick splash and dash, we might not be able to catch up. If we run ourselves out of sequence, we might not be able to catch up with an extra stop. I am a little bit worried about that, but I'm not sure if we're gonna make it to the end. Is the problem. I really don't know if we're gonna make it to the end if, like, just on a regular run. Okay. This is gonna be interesting. It's just a battle of, do we risk it? Do we try
Exit's clear.
to go to the end on one stop, knowing that we probably at best have
cold tires all round.
like 52 laps of fuel in a 53 lap race? Or do we do an early pit stop, get ourselves on track or get ourselves to a slightly later lap than we otherwise normally would, but potentially run the risk of just not being able to catch up? Keeping in mind, if we do that early on within the first few laps, we will have the entire race to catch up, so it's not like it's... because the other option there is risking it to the end, realizing we won't make it, and then having to do an extra stop right at the end, which will basically guarantee we have no time to catch up. So personally, I would rather risk doing a quick stop at the start. It's just it's a situation that I don't really want to be in, but we're gonna have to deal with it. We're gonna have to try it, because I don't really see any other way around it. I don't believe in my ability to fuel save enough and be competitive. Because it's only going to be one lap off. Do we just risk it and try to be competitive, like try to fuel save and hope we're competitive enough? I don't know. We might have to... But, on the other hand, the AIs are going to be slower at the beginning of the race. They tend to not push as hard at the beginning. And if they're going to be... Well, they're not really going to be fuel saving per se, because they don't tend to have as many problems with fuel consumption as I do. They tend to be a lot better at that than I am. Yeah, no, I think it might be worth it to do that early stop. Because then we do it while the AIs are at their slowest. Then we have a better chance of catching up. And we can go all out. We do not have to worry about fuel at all at the end of the race. Probably our best shot, in my opinion, but it might also completely screw us. But I kind of want to try it now. So let's try and, first of all, try and set a decent lap time.
The leader has just done a 130.2.
So we're a bit off of the pace here. We are a few... well, a fair bit off of the pace here, actually. We need to try and get back sometime, see where we can recover it. Maybe we can recover a little bit in the first sector here. Probably going to be the chicane as well, where we recover a lot of time. Ooh. Car was going pretty sideways there.
Quick.
Car was definitely trying to go sideways there. Okay. This isn't bad. Okay. Little awkward on the exit there, but I don't think we lost too much time. Alright. Is this going to be enough?
5 minutes left.
Let's see what we can set with this one. It's going to be half a second faster, 29.5. Probably not going to be enough for first place. I don't think we're going to get pole position with a 29.5, but it's at least a good base. Nope. Ah. I was trying to hold it on going around the outside, but we were just too far offline, so we couldn't hold on to it. Alright. So let's go around and prepare for another lap. Yeah, Watame's done a 29.48 there. Okay.
Alright, Eve, you've got half your fuel left.
Half fuel left, that's fine. We've only got 4 minutes remaining in the session. Yeah, this set of corners is a little tricky to try and nail. Alright. So let's set ourselves up for another lap and give it a go. Alright. Go. Can we do this?
You need to find a 10th in Sector 3. The leader's just done a 129.6.
Alright, we managed to stay on the track there. Wasn't really faster than our best. Okay. That was a little sketchy. Lost some time, okay. Yeah, we lost a lot of time there. Lost too much time there. This is not going to be a good lap now. Ah, man. Way too much time there. I doubt we're going to be able to catch back up here. And Rurika's going to pull out of the ways to let us pass, which is not going to give us slipstream. I think slipstream was our best shot there.
Just just 2 minutes left.
Yeah, I think that was a better run through the final corner, so I think this is going to be an improvement. How much of an improvement? 29.446. Okay. So that's back to pole position for now. I don't know if that's going to be enough. It could be. Could be enough. Let's find out. Right out to the curb there, but we still lost too much time in that corner.
3 off the pace.
Yeah. We lost way too much time in that corner to really make the most of a second hot lap. Okay. Ooh, I think we've also gone past the best of the tyres as well. Okay, we might be able to hold on to pole position here. We might be able to hold on to pole position. So, okay. Yeah, I'm thinking this fuel strategy of doing an early stop may be okay, because we'll be in clean air for a while.
This is the last lap of fuel.
It does mean we'll be in clean air for quite a while at the start of the race, but it should give us a shot to actually catch up. And maybe we'll be able to get back into the race by the end of it. And that's kind of the main important part. If we can be in the race by the end of it, then we might stand a chance of getting a good position. This is going to be kind of interesting, and probably a very stupid decision on my part. It probably would be a lot smarter just to try and fuel save. Like, I know I can get to lap 52. It would be a lot smarter just to fuel save to lap 53. But what if this works? But what if this works? It probably won't, but what if? I kind of wanna do it. It may be incredibly stupid, but what if? And that's what we're gonna find out. Oh boy. There we go. Because if we do 3 extra laps, that should pretty much, like, if we do 3 laps and then we just do the whole thing as flying laps, that might be enough. Or should we do 4 just to have, so we have a safety barrier? Because if we do 4, we can have a safety barrier.
53 laps. You're in pole. Pit window opens on lap 1.00.
Okay. Because that's saying 26. Get rid of that. Alright. So, fuel. If we do 4 laps, so 14 litres, it might give us a little bit of a safety barrier. As long as that's all... Yeah, that should all be fine there. Okay. This is going to be interesting. This might not go well, or it might go perfectly fine. I don't know. But we're going to give it a go.
Okay, Eve.
So let's begin.
For it.
Alright. We are off. Watame got a much better start, so did Fubuki behind us. And I think Chihaya on the outside there, as we are 3 wide coming down into turn 1. I'm going to try and outbrake them a little bit on the inside. Run a tiny bit wide. Ooh, a little bit of a collision with Fubuki as Marine takes the inside line there. So we're in third place. Ooh. Can we make a bit of a dive up the inside of Marine there?
Fucking excellent start. Well done.
Thank you. Alright. Woo. See, this has been a really good race start. We lost first place off the line, but it's been some good racing in this first half a lap. Alright, there we go. We've made it back to the front. So now let's try to make it to probably lap 4. I want to go to lap 4 and then we'll do our weird strategy. Just make sure that's running. Yep, that is running rich still. I think it defaults back to rich every time anyway. Okay.
Okay, Eve, pit window is open.
Pit window's open. Let's just try to make it to lap 4 before we try to make the dive in. Watame is outbraking us a little there. Has moved up into the inside, into first place here. Let's see if we can get some slipstream. Whee. Not too bad. Okay. I'm not too worried about sitting behind Watame at the beginning here. Again, it's later on that I'm worried about. Because we are going to pit early here and we are going to drop to the back of the pack. And have probably a little bit of a difficult time trying to catch up to them. But again, doing that early on is going to be easier than doing it later. Because early on they're all bunched up and they're saving fuel. Remember as well, we do have 15 boosts that we can use. That we might start using in potentially the second stint if we remember to. Or I guess technically my third stint, but I'd still call it the second stint because I'm not really going to count this first stop as a full stint. We are having an epic battle with Watame here at the front, but we're also leaving everyone else behind for the moment. Ooh, side by side through the kink. Oh, this is going great. Well, even if this strategy doesn't work out, I'm glad we've had some great racing for the lead in these first few laps. Okay, get it stopped, get it around. Nicely. Okay. So let's just... So that's still saying 26 at the moment. So I think we'll be able to get away with, again, it's like we probably might be able to get away with just doing one stop and trying to fuel save, but I'm going to give it a go. I've committed at this point. I've committed to this really weird strategy. So we're going to try it. We may very well regret it at the end, but let's see. still bloody side by side. Well, I do want to make sure Watame's not to the inside when we go for the pit stop, because that will be blocking the pit lane, which is not exactly what we want. Looks like we've pulled a little bit of a gap there. So we should be safe coming out onto this little stretch. Alright, just make sure. Alright.
Pit crew is ready.
14 litres of fuel. Let's go. Oh god, no.
Just speed limit in the pits.
Now we got plus 10 seconds. Yeah. I knew I was too late on the brakes there. I knew I was too late on the brakes. That's going to make things a little more tricky, but we'll see what we can do. I just don't like the pit entrance on this one. I think
just done
the
30.5.
where it wants you to slow down is just way too early. It's way too early because it's practically still on the track. They want you going 60 kilometers an hour while you're still on the track, and I don't like that. But anyway. Okay. Let's see if we can make this work.
You're running last. Come on, Eve.
Let's see if we can make this work. We are about 20 seconds down.
Car in front is Rosendahl.
Which is probably a little better than I expected, really. But let's see what we can do. Was this just a all-around incredibly dumb decision, or will we be able to catch up to the back of the field? Alright, switch over the strategy so that we're good for the next stop. And then just fight like hell. Fight like absolute hell. Too fast into there.
The leader's just done it on 30.5.
Okay.
Fastest lap for Murray on 29.9.
Okay. Let's push. Whee. And of course now we got to try and get 10 seconds in front of the leader by the end of the race, unfortunately. It would be nice if we could actually serve the 10 seconds just in a pit stop. That would probably be a lot nicer and, to be fair, a lot more realistic. But unfortunately that is not something we can do in this game. So we're just gonna have to run the have the 10 seconds at the end of the race, which sucks. Yeah, again, I just don't like the pit entry on this track. It's really bad. Oof, that was awkward. That was a little awkward in that corner. Yeah, we lost a lot of time there. Lost a lot of time going through the chicane. Yeah, Sector 3 just killed that lap. Sector 3 utterly annihilated our lap time there.
That was a 130.4.
But I think we are still slowly catching up. Ooh, kind of on the outside there, just getting onto the dirty part of the track. course, there's always the chance that at least some of the AIs will do a two-stopper. It's an extremely unlikely chance, but it is possible. But again, extremely unlikely, because I don't see a world in which the AIs will just not fuel save. I'm pretty sure the AIs will be able to put fuel save to the end. So I don't think any of them are going to go for the strategy that I'm running. Well, I say the strategy I'm running. I don't think we're going to have AIs pitting in the last few laps like we did at Indianapolis. We are catching up. We very much are catching up, which is good.
Baron is now in the lead.
Using all of the road and then some through turn 1.
Okay, Eve, the next car is Mains.
Alright, we got Rio is the car we're chasing down at the moment. Ooh, come on. A little bit of a slide there. We're kind of staying even with the leaders, I think. 27 seconds behind the leaders at this point. I think we're kind of evened out with the leaders.
The guy in front is Rosendahl.
But the back markers are falling back. And they're the ones that we're catching up to at the moment. And as soon as we get into the field, we can start getting slipstream and all that stuff, which should make progress through the field a little smoother. It's always through the chicane that we just lose all of our time. Always through the chicane that we lose the most time.
Ritz is now leading.
Okay, come on. We can do this. We can see them at the end of the straight there.
You're matching race pace, this is good. You've just done a 130.2.
We can see them at the end of the straight when we come onto it, which is good. We're now less than 10 seconds to the back markers. try and get a decent run through here for once. Still not really. Still not quite. Use all of the road we can.
Barrett is leading the race. We're quickest right now. That lap was at 1:30.0.
Okay, good. We can do this. 25 seconds, or 25.9 to the leader now. Intensely focused. Intensely focusing on trying to get clean laps in here so that we can start getting back into the fight. Because once we get into the fight, then we can make some good progress.
Just done at 1:30.5.
Okay. A little bit slow there. 30.5.
Rins is now leading.
Just keep an eye on these outside tyres as well, because they're gonna start suffering in a while. We just gotta hope that we can make it to the... actually... I did say that if we came to a point where we needed to gain time on the AIs, we could try running hard slicks and double stint them. But that won't really matter because we're not double stinting, are we? We're going to the end regardless of which tyre we choose. So, So yeah, I guess technically that won't really matter, will it? Okay. I should have thought about that at the very beginning and just ran hard tyres from the start. But I don't know if hard tyres would last 53 laps is the thing. Ooh, and that was a slow lap as well. That was a very, very bad lap. But we're now only 5 seconds down on the last place cars.
Barrett is now in the lead.
Okay. Ooh, that was late. Come on. Do this. Just as long as we don't destroy our tires and hopefully don't destroy the brakes either. I think we'll be fine on that, but we'll see. Lap 13 coming on to lap 14 now.
time was 1:30.4.
A little wide. We're gaining on the back markers pretty rapidly at this point, which will be good because then we can start getting slipstream. If we can start getting slipstream, then we can start properly making progress. Oop. Yeah, the BGM's still on, isn't it? There we go. Turn that off. Forgot to turn the BGM off. Alright. Here we go. I think one or two more laps and we might start getting some slipstream from Aki Rose in front of us.
Time was 1:30.6.
Our lap times have not been the greatest lately. Part of that's going to be because I'm pushing it too hard, part of that's going to be our tyres. But let's see, let's hopefully try to draw the laps back a little bit once we latch on. And hopefully also just not spend too much time fighting, because we will have to make our way through the field, but if we can do it cleanly without battling, then that'll be optimal. And just use them as slingshots, basically. We do not have to worry about fuel saving, which is good. That's the whole point of going on this strategy. So we can run the car to the ragged edge this entire race. Though tyre conservation may come up at some point. But let's see what we can do. We're now right behind Aki. Drag us forward. There we go. Alright, now we can start making our way up the field. Whoa.
Brilliant. Nice one. Come on, Eve.
Very slidey.
The guy in front is Ruiz.
Okay, early pit stops. Oh. I think they are doing 2 stops. Or at least some of the AIs might be doing 2 stops because Mio just went into the pits. That's interesting. That is very, very interesting. Someone else is going into the pits as well. That's Botan. Sora's in the pits. Ayame's in the pits. Oh! Flayon's in the pits. Roberto's in the pits. Bay's in the pits. So many of them are in the pits. We're up to 14. So, I think they are actually doing a 2-stopper. Which is interesting. I would have fully expected most of the AIs to be able to fuel save and just do a 1-stop race. There is a chance that not all of them are going to do 2 stops. But with how many of them dived into the pits there, I'm thinking it seems quite likely that most of them, if not all of them, will go for it.
The car ahead is Mooney.
Alright, see if we can get past Muna here. And then we got Ruse in front of that.
The lead car's pitting.
Lead cars are in the pits. Okay, they're all going for it. Alright, alright. Okay, that is not what I expected. That is very, very much not what I expected. Oh, these guys go into the pits. Everyone. Seriously? So basically all we've done there is we've put ourselves on a completely different strategy, which might just work out because now we're back in first place. That might resolve our, I mean, Aki might be able to go, like, there's a chance that Aki might be able to go for a one-stopper, which would be hilarious, because Aki tends to run at the back of the field. If Aki goes for a one-stopper and actually comes in second place, that would be amazing. Or first place, depending on how close. But yeah, what's worked out here is we might be able to just completely negate our 10-second penalty by simply being on a different strategy. We are going to have worse tyres by the end than the AIs will. But I don't think that's really going to be a massive factor. So, I don't know. This could actually go our way. This could very much go our way, which would be kind of hilarious. Okay. Well, I feel a lot more confident now, so that's good.
Rosendahl behind is pitting.
And Aki's in the pits. Okay. So everyone has gone into the pits, which has put us... We've gone from being 28 seconds behind the leader to now being 28 seconds in front of the leader.
130.7. 2 tenths off the pace in sector 1.
That's kind of funny. That is amazing. Alright then. Well, let's see how it goes. We may be running a fairly lonely race in that sense. But if it means we can claim victory because we decided to use a weird strategy, and again, I suppose if the AIs were always going to double pit, then it wasn't a weird strategy. It was actually a very, very good strategy. And something I could definitely see a lot of... I could definitely see being realistic, because I feel like I've seen that happen in V8 supercars, where they'll do like 1 or 2 laps, jump into the pits for some fuel, and then the next stint they'll be able to just go to the end. I have seen that happen a few times, so... Okay. Looks like we were smart. We weren't being dumb, we were actually being smart. Now it does technically also mean we probably could have gotten away with fuel saving. If we could have just managed to stretch it, it would have been a risk. It would have been a much more of a risk. But we might have been able to stretch it. And I think fuel saving would have worked in that way. Oh man, okay. Cool. Be careful. Okay. So let's see if we can get to... I mean, we should be able to get to lap 29 roughly, maybe lap 30. How's my fuel?
Alright, Eve, we'll need to pit for refueling. We think
11
about
laps.
11 laps of fuel remaining.
Okay.
We think we'll need to add 82 litres.
Yeah, so we should easily be able to get to lap 30 before we have to do our second stop. And then depending on how much of a lead we can try and keep, that could put us just straight back into the... Well, not necessarily straight back into the fight, because we're going to have to do a full stop. Full tank of fuel, and something that I actually don't know if the AIs did just then is we're going to be taking tyres. They might have... Well, yeah, I think they would have. Because they went from basically 30 seconds ahead, 30 seconds behind, well, 25 ahead to 30 behind, roughly, so... Yeah, they might have taken tyres. I don't know if they did. They may be running hard tyres the whole race, or at least double stinting hard tyres. I could see that being the case, maybe. But yeah, we're gonna try and swap out our tyres, as well as a full tank of fuel, which is going to take probably close to a minute. So it's gonna be interesting. I think then we just have to try and make sure we catch up far enough to make the use of their second stop.
Lap time was at 1:31.3. Sector 1 is 0.9
If we can take advantage of their second stop, then we're good.
Sector 3 is 0.6 off the pace.
Yeah, these tyres are really dying in the latter half of this stint. So we really got to make the use of what we can in the beginning of the stint. So as soon as we come out of the pits, we're going to try and use boost as much as possible. Yeah, we can probably start boosting in the next few laps. Actually, we can probably start boosting now, to be fair, because I think it might take a couple of... I can't remember... Will it take like 1 lap or 2 laps to... Yeah, I think it'll take like 2 laps, roughly, to recharge if we just use it on the front straight. Yeah, okay. If we start using it now, I think we'll still be boosting by the end of the race. Okay. Well, let's go. Let's start making use of this boost, making ourselves even faster. Which again, right now, we're not going super fast, we're still like a second a lap slower.
You're now in the lead, you're 2/10 off the pace in sector 1.
Just because our
Sector 2
tyres
is
are so
0.3
short.
off the pace. Sector 3 is 0.6 off the pace.
Ooh. God, it gains us so much time in the straight. That's going to be so nice when we can get onto good tyres. Yeah, I wish this car had a bit more of a notification for when the boost was charged. Like the stock cars had a green light on the dashboard. These cars, from what I can tell, there's no indication that I can see anyway. Oh god, that the boost is charged, aside from just being on the HUD, which kinda seems a bit silly. Oh god, we messed that up. Turned in too early there. Seems a bit silly to not have any indication of the boost in car. But anyway, so yeah, it's going to be 2 laps. Every 2 laps we can use the boost here. Alright, about what I expected, so that is good.
You've just done at 1:32.0. Sector 2 is a second off the pace.
Okay. So let's just do what we can. So if we can try to remember to use the boost every second lap. Just gotta make sure I don't forget it, because that happens a lot. Whoa. Yeah, this car loses so much time on bad tires. The tires aren't even that worn out yet, but it's just... We've obviously used them up so much by pushing for the whole first half of the race that they are dead. Okay.
That was at 130.5.
I can see the back markers up ahead as well, so if we can start... Oh god. Yeah, going into turn 1 half a second faster than normal is a little bit sketchy. But yeah, if we can start catching up to the back markers, then that's probably a pretty good sign of our pace. And it should, hopefully, make it not too difficult to get the victory. Oh god. Okay.
Okay, Eve, the next car is 1 lap behind.
1 lap behind, yep. And again, they're like 10 seconds up the road, so we're getting pretty close to overlapping.
You've just done a 130.5.
Which will also kind of help us as well, because again, for the same reason we wanted to catch up to the back markers initially, we can start getting slipstream, which will give us a bit of an advantage in general there as well. But yeah, with our pit stop probably taking close to a minute, I expect we're going to fall out of the top 10, but we're probably going to be in the middle of the field coming out of our pit stop. And from there, I believe it won't be too difficult to just kind of sit there and then get back past the leaders when they make their second stop. So, yeah, I think this strategy is actually going to work out really well. It's a obviously kind of a pity that it's left us kind of like alone for a majority of the race, but overall, hey, a good race is a good race, and this is going to be, from a strategy standpoint, a good race. So let's see what we can do.
Okay, Eve, you've got about 4 laps of fuel left.
4 laps, good to know. How's my fuel?
We'll need to hit for fuel.
Just wanna... Okay, 81.
Laps remaining on this tank. We will need to add 81 litres.
So yeah, I think... yeah, I think I'll stop around that 30. Even if I can get to 31. Because 27, 28, 29... Yeah, I think 30 is where we'll get to anyway. I think that is our limit. So yeah, we'll just get to lap 30 and then
Air temp's increasing. It's
try and
24
make it
Celsius.
from there. We might be able to drop this down a little bit. Let's drop it down to 83. Not quite 81, but drop it down to 83. Well, actually, we could drop it down to 81 because we're not going to be filling up from 0. So we're still going to have a few extra liters in the tank. So yeah, we can grab 81 liters and then see how it goes.
We're setting the pace. You've just done a 130.5.
Ooh, careful. We're managing to keep the 28 lap, or the 28 second rather, gap back to Marine pretty steady, which again is a good sign. We were kind of keeping steady with the leaders, very slowly catching up to them in the first half of the race there, before they pitted. So I think this is gonna go decently. Ooh, careful. Okay. And we have now caught up once more to Aki Rosenthal, except this time we're a lap ahead. So now we're going to have boost and a little bit of slipstream on this this run. Oh dear. Goodbye, Aki! Jeez. So bloody fast.
2 laps of fuel remaining.
Crikey. 2 laps. Okay. Oop, that may have been
The next car is
late.
1 lap
Yeah.
behind.
I gotta remember when I'm running boost, I need to brake earlier into T1. Because we basically lose all of our advantage there because I'm just braking too late. Okay. Careful. A little bit of dirt there, that's fine. Ooh. Okay. So this time around it's going to be one lap until we have to... Well, I think this will be our final lap of fuel. So let's just double check that. I think we're good there. All of our settings look good.
You've only got enough fuel for this lap.
So
okay,
let's
stop requesting.
request a stop. Also just get used to using a slightly earlier braking marker there. Okay. So this is where it's gonna be... Well, this is where it's gonna be interesting, because I think we're gonna come out around mid-pack. I think mid-pack is kind of where we are right now. So then we just gotta hold on there. If we can make progress, great, but holding on there would be, I think, good enough. Oh god. To be able to beat the leaders.
In this lap, box this lap, please, Eve.
Alright, let's just make sure.
We should be in position 9, right ahead
Let's
of.
brake
10th position.
very early this time.
Watch your speed.
Brake very early this time so we don't get another speeding penalty. I can deal with a 10-second penalty. I don't think we'd win. I'm not sure how well we'd win with a 20-second penalty. But let's see. Alright. Let's do a stop. I think this is going to take close to a minute. Fuel and tires are done separately in this car, which is not ideal, but should be okay. And thankfully we've kept out of trouble so far in the race, so we don't have to do any repairs, which is also very good. Okay, so 32 seconds for the fuel. Now we're changing out our tires, and that is going to get us to around 45, 46, 47.4. There we go. Okay. Alright. So a little bit behind mid-pack.
It exit looks clear. P18.
A little bit behind mid-pack. We're in 20th place at the moment.
Got cold brakes all round.
Looks like we're going to be fighting back from 20th. 43 seconds behind the leaders. I am decently confident that... yeah, I'm pretty sure 43 seconds isn't going to be too bad when they do their second stop. Whether the question, or the real question, is going to be whether we can get the 10-second gap that we need.
Okay, Eve, the next car is Takina.
But also, what that tells me is they're probably running hard tires, because they definitely did not change tires in that first stop. So they may be running hard tires for the first 2 stints. Whether that means they'll change over to soft tires for the final run, the final stint, I don't know. But yeah. If they do, then they are probably going to be a little bit faster in the final stint. Hopefully not too much faster. But we shall find out. Let's use our boost there. And now that we have good tires, we should be able to make the use of that. Make the most of that, rather. Okay. Where are we going to brake here? Probably about there, I would say.
You're reeling.
That's kind of alright.
The gap is now 3.6.
Kind of alright. We didn't get the massive advantage we were getting before. But we also didn't necessarily waste it, which is good. Of course, the car is heavier now, so we're the boost probably isn't going to be giving us half a second down the front straight like it was. Now that we're on a full tank. Let's go. Maybe we can actually have some fighting here with Sora as we're coming up to the final corner with her. Only 2 seconds behind. Alright. See if we can start getting slipstream soon.
Last lap was a 129.8.
Good. Now we're back. Now we're back into the good lap times. Feels good. Of course, next time around we use the boost again. Which again, just remember, brake earlier at T1 when using boost. Okay, we should be close enough for slipstream now. Now we're definitely close enough. We gained so much time on Sora through there. Okay, let's dive to the inside because Sora's going to brake there. There we go. Use our boost. Ooh, side by side out of the final corner. Sora got a better run on the outside, but we are now under the power of the boost, which, considering the AIs probably would have used all of their boosts early in the race, is going to massively outpace her. There we go. Nicely done. Nice. Okay, P19. We've just got to hold on until the AIs start going for their second pit stops here.
The guy ahead is Ikari.
Alright, we got Ayame and Izuru up ahead, it looks like. Oh, and Botan. Having a freeway battle there. Careful. Don't slide the car out too much.
Okay, Eve, don't be intimidated by this little shit. Make him work for it.
Okay. There we go. Pulling away from Sora here. Oh, a little bit sideways. Okay.
Your last lap time was at 129.8.
Oop, turn in too early. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. It's just because we were trying to use the boost braking zone where we weren't boosting. Looks like Botan. I think Botan was at the front of that gaggle there. They are starting to pit. Alright. So yeah, Botan lost a couple of positions there. Looks like Ayame is going up the inside of Izuru. The leader is in the pits.
Rins is leading the race.
I don't think Chihaya is leading the race, Jim. I think it's Watame, but of course, I don't know if it's just because like the Watame and Sora are duplicates, but he doesn't seem to be counting them. I'm guessing it has something to do with the fact that it's duplicating with the custom names. That might be what's screwing Jim up and making him not register them. Unfortunately, yeah, we just ended up running like I think 2 extra cars than we were supposed to with this grid of cars. We should have run 2 less opponents so that it didn't duplicate them. But oh well. That's perfectly okay. It's pretty much just screwing up Jim. It's not causing a big problems. Unless, of course, that was the reason the game was messing up in round 1. I don't think so, but I don't know. Okay. on the tail of Ayame. It looks like Botan has managed to get back to the front of this trio. Now there's a good chance, a little bit of a tap there. Good chance that these three are going to go into the pits here. Botan's going into the pits. I kind of figured she was because she was on a bit of an alternate line there. Ooh, okay. Ayame, I think, was going to try and look for the way up the inside of Izuru, but because we stuck our nose there, she couldn't quite. Slightly running us to the inside here. Can we just try and get a bit of a side draft?
2 tenths off the pace in sector 3.
There we go. Nicely. Oh, deep under brakes coming up alongside Izuru here. Oh, God. There we go. Side by side. Having a good race there. Nice. We made it through.
Nice pass. Well done, Eve.
Alright, we're up in 15th place now. Place on lap 37. Okay. We just need everyone else to start pitting before we can essentially just get back to the lead, I think. I don't think we're going to have to be worrying about fighting too much. Alright, run the boost.
V13. The track temperature's rising. It's now 33 Celsius.
33, okay.
The gap to behind is increasing. It's now 1.5 seconds.
Alright, so the next car in front of us is Bay. There goes Bells.
Okay, Eve, the next car is
Will we catch her before she decides to jump into the pits, though, is the question. Because I think Bay is probably going to end up in the pits before we catch up behind her. But that being said, the leaders, or a few cars pitted a couple of laps ago. No one else has really followed them in yet. So it looks like most of them are going a little bit longer. Okay. Here we go.
That lap time was 1:30.1.
Okay, just using all of the road and then some coming out of T1. As long as the game doesn't complain, then we're safe. We can use that line. Oop. Careful on the throttle a little bit. That's another reason I like these cars. You don't have to be that careful. I am flooring it out of most of these corners, and the car is just taking it. Well, I suppose the traction control is taking most of it, but even then, a lot of cars will still struggle even under traction control to keep it planted, but this car has no such issues. It just goes, and I like it. It's comfortable to drive. Oh, we were late on the boost there. Almost forgot about it, but we hit it. There we go, now it's activated.
We're setting the pace.
That 40.
30.2.
So we've got 14 to go. So the question is, when is everyone else going to go for their second pit stops? Because again, we saw some pit stops a few laps ago. But so far, most of the field in front of us haven't done that second stop. Actually, all the field in front of us haven't done that second stop. I think it was Marine that went for the pit stop, and we definitely passed Marine.
You're reeling E12. In, the gap is 1.8.
Okay. On the back of P14 here, Haglas Bells. Looks like Bay is going into the pits. Yes. Alright. So now they're starting to blink. Or at least the second group of them is starting to blink. Whether that means the rest of them are going to go in now or not.
Buzzes, flip.
Alright, so we've got Mackinac X Flayon as the next car, but again, quite far ahead, 12. So I'm not sure we're going to catch up to them before their next round of pit stops.
Gap to flip ahead is now 3.8.
Oh, that was late. That was late. That was a little bit bad on the brakes there. Yeah, just hit the brakes too late. Took too much speed into there. Went out on the grass. It was a bit of a spin.
Ahead is pitting.
But shouldn't be too bad. Rubberoo and Flayon are into the pits now. Of course, that spin would have not done very good wonders for the tyres. The tyres are going to be a little bit...
right, the guy ahead of us is...
a little bit iffy after that. Oop, careful. There we go. Now we're just going to try and chase down Kobo and Liz. How are we going in the top 10? So it's still Watame, or no, it's Sora and Watame are battling each other. Chihaya is right in there as well. Then it's Mokoko, Kali, Kobo. Okay, Mokoko's in 8th place. We aren't actually seeing the full top 10 from our position here. We need to actually get into the top 10, I think. But yeah, Callie and Mokoko are having a battle over 8th and 9th. Kobo and Elizabeth are battling over 10th and 11th. And yeah, the top 3 are all pretty close, though Watame's now gained a little bit of a gap over Sora and Chihaya.
Okay, Eve, you've used half your fuel.
Okay. Ooh. So half of our fuel with 10 laps to go. That's not too bad. I think we will very easily make it to the end here. I reckon. We just need everyone ahead to start making their second stops, which at this rate, it's looking like they might do the same thing they did at Indianapolis, where everyone just kind of jumps into the pits in the final few laps. Because we're in the final 10 laps now, which is... They started jumping into the pits in the final, like, 6 laps, I think.
Captain, Ikari behind is increasing. It's now...
Personally, I don't think that's a very good strategy, but to be fair, it is literally the exact opposite of what I've done here, where I stopped on lap 4. And a lot of them are probably going to stop 4 laps from the end. So, yeah, fair enough, I suppose.
The leader.
There we go, there they are. Alright, the leaders are all in pits.
Okay, Eve, you're reeling.
But not everyone, as Fubuki, Mio and Laplace now take out the top 3, as they have stayed out for another lap. So now we're going to be passing Sora, Watame, and I think Chihaya. As our tyres are starting to die out, I can definitely feel that. Getting a little slidey here as we make it into the top 10. So it's Laplace from Fubuki, from Mio, from Kali, from Makako, from Kobo, from Elizabeth, from myself, from Izuru. That is the top 10 now. And of course, pretty much everyone else but me still has to make their second pit stops. Because no one decided to try to tough it out with fuel saving, which I'm still very surprised at. I was expecting most of, if not some of, the AIs to fuel save and just make it 27 laps. But I guess if I was struggling to, well, not struggling to keep it 26, but if I was keeping it at 26 and struggling to even try to get it to the 27, then I guess the AIs were as well. So again, I'm surprised at, because normally they can go many laps longer than I can. Anyway, that is basically that is almost everyone else into the pits. Kobo
is pitting.
Kobo is also jumping in there now. Oop. So we got Liz and I think Watame as the only one still on track ahead of us. Yeah, Elizabeth and Watame.
Well done,
as
Eve.
we've moved up into P3 here.
P3. That last lap was at 131.
Which, if I have to guess, probably this lap. If not this lap, then next lap. Then again, we have had some people hold it out until 2 laps until the finish. So it is possible that Watame or Liz is going to try and do that. It really just depends on how far they can get. I'm surprised they're making it this far after stopping. Well, That's the thing. Not all of them stopped on lap 16. I think some of them were a little bit later. So maybe Liz and Watanabe were a little bit later than that. But yeah, I'm a little surprised. There we go. Watanabe's now in the pits. So what's Liz going to do? Is she going to try and take it to the end? Well, not to the end, but like another lap or two? Or is she running dry on fuel here? And Liz is jumping into the pits. Okay. There we go. So that is going to
car in front is pitting.
Give us the lead of the race. Of course, it's also not impossible for the AIs to forget to pit and run out of fuel. I think that's actually what happened in the 3-hour race, where Muna was, well, the safety car came out after we finished the race because Muna was just sitting on the side of the road. I think what happened there is she ran out of fuel on the final lap and couldn't make it to the finish line.
He's in P5. Should come out close.
So it's not entirely impossible for the AIs to miscalculate and not make it to the end. But I suppose the difference there is that was a timed race, this is a lap race. So could be a little bit different there, a little easier to make it or try and calculate to the end in a lap race rather than a time race. Okay. Yeah, the tyres are shot now. But that's okay, because we have 21 seconds over Sora and Chihaya. So we don't really have to worry about pushing super hard here. I think we can comfortably make it to the end, even with dead tyres. And even with this 10-second penalty, it's not really going to matter, as Ruse comes out of the pit lane, and Muna comes out of the pit lane behind us there as well.
The next car is a lap behind.
Okay. So let's make it past lap traffic and cruise to the end of the race. So in the end, our strategy that I wasn't sure about ended up being the right call. We made it to the end, we made it to the victory, even with a 10-second penalty. Worked out very nicely for us. I think, as far as on-track pace, the 110 level AI is actually pretty good. The only thing that we keep seeming to beat them out on is pit strategies. We seem to do a lot better with pit strategies with this car than the AIs do. So we can probably run maybe 111, maybe 112 for the next round, but generally I think this is a pretty good difficulty level, because again, like, they are able to kind of catch up a little bit, and for the most part I'm keeping even with them. Yes, I sometimes am gaining a little bit of time on them, which is why we'll probably put it to 111 or 112, but for the most part the leaders are kind of keeping even. It's not being a crazy difference. So I think it's working out very nicely. But we'll have to see how that goes when we go to Long Beach, which of course in 2023 Long Beach is the track that we ran these cars at in the main series. The only problem with that one is it came right after an update that reworked the tire physics. So we came into brand new tire physics after practicing with the old ones, having no practice with the new physics, and yeah, we lost. We did terribly, which is why we're redoing that one next year, because we wanted to actually redo that. Having, well, knowing how the car is going to behave, rather than going in blind and completely and utterly failing. So, oh god, we'll see how it goes next year, but we'll also see how it goes next week in the half distance version, because I think the full distance was 500 miles, so it'd be another 250 mile race on that one. Ooh, careful. And I think after that is, if I'm not mistaken, Adelaide, which might have been a 500 kilometer race. I'd have to recheck that one. I would have to recheck. I don't know. I don't know if we did a full like Adelaide 500, because we did it with the Aussie racing cars. It might have been like 400 or something. Or was it like, no, I think it was a weird number. It was like 450 or 350 or something. I can't remember. I have to check it. Alright. Coming to the end of lap 50. We have 3 laps remaining in the race here.
That lap was at 131.0.
Still a 20-second lead over Watame, Sora, and Chihaya, which is going to reduce to a 10-second lead because of our penalty, but that is okay. It's still a comfortable gap. And after that first race at Kalami, where I was kind of trying to even myself out with the AIs by following their pit strategy, I've just been like, you know what? I'm just gonna push it. I don't care if I finish 20 seconds in front. If that is the case, then so be it. I'll up the difficulty for the next race, but I'm not gonna risk trying to artificially slow myself down, because it evidently did not go well in that race. Both times it went poorly, even when I did it off stream to try and fix it up. Oh well. Alright. Get it slowed. Use our final boost as we come out to lap 52. But what about another penalty? Funny thing is, even if we had ended up accidentally getting another 10-second penalty, we'd still be winning by half a second right now. It would be a much closer race, but we'd still be just barely winning. Even if we had 20 seconds right now. But it would be a bit more intense, because we would be so close to losing out. Oh god. But let's see if we can finish with 20 seconds to spare. If we can make it to the end, even if we had gotten a second speeding penalty. Alright. Ooh, careful there. Because the problem right now is, of course, our tires are shot. We are at the end of these tires, pretty much. Even though the health is still like only a quarter down, they die surprisingly early. I say early. It's not really early. It is a full stint, but as far as the health bar goes, it dies surprisingly early.
Come on,
So
Eve.
we
Keep
might
it together. We'll
struggle
win this.
to keep that 20-second gap. It's already down to 19 at the moment.
Coming.
I say, then it goes back up to 20. This is the final lap now, so let's see if we can make it to the end with that 20 seconds intact. One more lap. Ooh, got a little bit close to touching the grass there, which would have been the end of everything.
The guy in front is one lap behind.
Come on. Yeah, no, I don't think we're going to keep the 20-second gap. Which, it's lucky we didn't have the second penalty, but... okay. Because we don't have another boost either. Come on. Final corner. Ooh, that was... yeah, we lost time there. That's down to 18. Yeah. We would have come third if we had that second penalty, but we don't. So that is a first place. Jim seems surprised. Jim seems very surprised that we won. Oh my god, that was another good race. We only had one mistake where we spun it going into the chicane, and of course the 10-second penalty by speeding into the pit lane. But aside from that, no, we had a great race there. Pitting early on lap 4 was the way to do it. It was actually the proper strategy. Surprisingly, I did not expect that to be the case, but hell yeah. Oop, straightened up. I straightened it up a little too early. That's fine. Let's just bring it back around into the pits, and then we can finish up there. Yep. Yeah, that was another good race. Hopefully we can continue this streak going into Long Beach. Because of course we got to try and pull back the points after having some sketchy Indy, like 2 last places in Indy Thunder, and of course not getting points, no one getting points at all for the first race, the Kalami 3 hour. So we got to try and pull our points back, but at this rate, if we can keep this up, keep the momentum up, I think we'll be able to do that pretty well. So there we go. Ended up being a 1 hour 22, 15 seconds because of the plus 10 second penalty. Finishing 9.9 ahead of Watame, then Sora, Fubuki, Chihaya, Mio, Laplace, Watame, Marine, and Kali rounding out the top 10. Oh, that went well. Alright, and that is going to be our championship standings. Sora is still in the lead over Watame and Mio. But if I can... There we go. I keep forgetting my flag doesn't actually show up on this one. We have moved up to 8th place. I think we were 14th or something coming into this. So 8th place, that's pretty good progress. The next couple races, if we can keep winning, we should be able to make it up to the top there. So there we go. Oh man. That is going to be good, because next time we go to Long Beach for 79 laps, or I think 250 miles. Flagless. Yeah, I don't know why it doesn't doesn't always show the flag. Yeah, let me just double check. So yeah, Long Beach Utes. Oh no, that was 500 kilometers? No, that can't be 500 kilometers, right? Hang on. Surely I mistyped that. Surely I mistyped that in the document. I'm pretty sure because it's an American track, I use miles. Was it 3.16 times, was it 158? Yeah, fuck, 490. Oh, it is kilometers. Okay, I didn't realize that was actually kilometers, so I guess I can rename that one to kilometers instead of miles for next year. Interesting. I thought I used miles because I usually use miles for the American tracks. But anyway, so okay, 300 kilometers for the Adelaide race. So it'll be a 150 kilometer Adelaide run, and then it's Jerez 6 hour, so Jerez 3 hour for us. It's like 75 miles or what? I don't. What's half of 150? It's 75, I think. And that'll be at Laguna Seca, 75 miles, I think. And then, God, there was a Daytona 250, so there's going to be 50 laps of Daytona. That's going to be interesting. And then, of course... Oh, no. Wait a second. Okay, good. I didn't include the 4 other Indy Thunder races that were at the end of the year. If I had included the 4 other Indy Thunder at the end, that would have been bad. But no, we got straight into the Bathurst 1000, which in this case would be Bathurst 500. Ha 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 ha. Good. Panic is not applicable. I am happy. And that is going to be the end for today. Coming up on, obviously, Wednesday, it is going to be Monster Prom 2 Monster Camp with Day. Hopefully the game works and we can actually get through a full run on that one. Then on Friday, it's back to Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Before Sunday, we are returning to Automobilista 2 with Long Beach, which should be enjoyable. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.